Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Love Bay Talk and Sports and everything happening on Love Bay Radio. It's a talk show radio, and today we're going to be talking lots of sports. It's a Roger and Ingle hour, and we have a lot to catch up on because we were not available last week, and so much going on. So much going on. So we'll have a packed hour for this day, and Ingle, sunny outside, so it's a great day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great day, Roger, and quite a lot to talk about, as you said. Yeah, we missed last week, so the World Championships finished.
Yes, yes, it did.
Cricket is going on forever, as we say. There's no break in cricket. There's always a
I,
series somewhere,
somewhere in the world,
and
whether it's a hundred or whether it's a CPL or something is happening.
yeah, there's always something happening. And the tennis is on. There's Formula One is back from the break, summer break. If you can
Yeah,
call it. I don't know why they take a summer break, but they take a couple of weeks off.
uh,
And
I don't know why either. It's well, I guess I do. Maybe they just want to enjoy their summer too, like everybody else.
like everybody else, they want to go on, take a vacation somewhere
Go on their
on the
yachts.
beach, go on their yachts, yeah, fly out for a day to somewhere and come back, right?
Correct, correct,
Yeah,
correct.
so maybe one day we'll be able to do that.
That's the dream, and one day
Yeah,
we're gonna live that dream.
yeah, for sure. We'll fly over to Jamaica for a day
There you
and come
go.
back.
Go
It would
rafting on the Rio Grande and climbing the Duns River Falls.
for sure. I was watching some pictures the other day, and one of my friends told me he's going to Jamaica in October. He and his wife are going down there too for a week's vacation, but he was saying that he's hoping he can sneak away from her and play around the golf. So
Wow. Well, good luck with that.
I I said to him, "Don't get in trouble.
Yes,
If
exactly.
it's a holiday, treat it as that." So
That's so true. So
yeah,
true.
but it's been a lot happening, Roger, and the track and field. A lot to talk there because we missed the last week and so much happened. And I don't
A
know if you
lot.
want to start there and talk about cricket after. We can do that, but it's up to you if you want to do that or you want to talk cricket first, or even I think we can touch on the U.S. Open tennis a bit, and
Yeah,
then
we can touch on the tennis and a little of what's going on with Mercedes with
as
F1.
Mercedes, yeah,
Uh,
because the two contracts have been signed.
yeah, and it's a lot of money out there, Ingle. I know we'd love to get that type of money. I mean, if $50 million a year, I don't know. It sounds
Uh,
like a good deal.
Sounds like a good deal, and they're talking about um, Hamilton's contract will go way into past his past his 40th birthday. But they
Yeah,
said they
yeah.
looked into sign him up after 2025.
I know. He's that good, but yeah, I don't know what these guys make, but 50 million a year, and he keeps going. That's a great deal for him for sure.
And he
Um,
said he's not finished. He's got some unfinished business.
he does. I think he has not won a race in like 2 years,
Hmm.
so he has lots of unfinished business. He's in my opinion, the best driver out there, and I think he wants everyone to know that he's still the best driver out there, just not
Yeah.
having the best car.
Yes. Exactly. And
He wants a car to be competitive. So if he gets a competitive car, we'll see just how good he is.
yeah, they're now in the Italian Grand Prix this weekend, and well, Max won last week again. No surprise.
Hmm.
But the Italian Grand Prix this weekend, and they're just about getting ready to have the qualifying.
Yeah.
Uh, so Hamilton said his car is a little bit faster, but we'll see.
How little that is. It's really a
Yeah,
little, or is it a little, or is it some little? So we'll find out.
he
But it'll be
started 13th last week, and they were saying that he had enough pace if he was up in the top three to challenge Max Verstappen, but I
wow.
don't know. So we'll see.
We'll see if there's a change that has happened, and that will be really excited for the sport because right now it's a domination by Verstappen, and it's like, yeah, he's joking around now and say maybe I can take an extra pit stop just to let them catch up, or so that needs to change a little. It can't be that big of a lead that he has that he can afford to fool around like that. So it would be good to see a competitive race.
Yeah, it will definitely be good to see a competitive race. And right now in qualifying, Albon is well, they just started the first qualifying. Albon is first, Russell is second, Lewis Hamilton is fifth. So
Yeah,
we haven't had a time for Maxes yet. So I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah.
it's before it's over, it's gonna
We'll see
change.
some. Yeah, that's gonna change for sure, for sure. And also on another quick note, I noticed that Felipe Massa says he's ready to take Formula One's governing body to court to press his claim that he was robbed of the 2008 title, which he lost by 1 point to Lewis Hamilton. So I don't know. Lewis is always in the news for something, although he has nothing to do with this one. But his name is out there, and it's tough to see. What's that? 15 years?
Yeah, it is. I mean, like, why you waited so long
So
to do
long to
this?
come
And
back. Oh
yeah,
boy.
it's yeah. He said he's ready to go to court. He was robbed. Yeah, well, Hamilton should Hamilton go to court for last year?
I think he should, in my
You know,
opinion. He was robbed for sure.
yeah, he was robbed. Yeah,
For sure. So I don't know, but let's see what Massa does. Who knows?
exactly.
Maybe in 2035, Hamilton is gonna say I was robbed and start a court
Yeah,
case.
I started
That's
the case.
ridiculous. But
Yes, for sure.
let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes.
We'll see how that goes for sure, and we'll keep up with it. We'll keep you updated before we leave on the Italian Grand Prix to see the standings, to see who takes the pole.
Yeah,
But right now, my guess is that Max will take the pole, but we'll wait and see and
yeah,
update you.
for sure, for sure, for sure. Some tennis now, Ingle. I know your favorite sport, or one of your favorites, next to
Yeah,
cricket. We see what's going on over there in the U.S. Open.
there's a lot happening in the US Open, some
Yeah,
upsets, and again, Felix struggles to get out the first round, Roger, and I'm not sure what's going on with them.
I
I,
think I don't know. It's been a long. I know sometimes you go and you go well for a little while, and then you lose form a bit, and then you bounce back. But he's spiraling down. He has not done anything in a while now.
is it confidence after the injury that he's just not
It's
feeling as confident
it's.
as
I believe it started off as that, but now I just think he's just lost it. I think he's just lost the plot because he he doesn't even seem as talented as we all know he is.
right?
He's just
Exactly.
not focused. I know, yeah, the confidence is a big part of that, but yeah, he's just not there, man.
He's not,
Disappointing because he's one of my favorite players, and I really have very high hopes for him, but he's just not rolling right now at all.
and disappointed for me that all the Canadians are gone.
And just like that, all
Yeah,
out of there.
all of them are out, and it's
Like, oh my
just
God, not even to the third round, nobody, not even one.
no, not even
Just
one Canadian is there.
so disappointing. So
It is, and some matchups coming up that look like we are on track to see Coco and Swiatek again in the
I
next in the quarterfinals because we're
quarterfinals,
down to the 16 round of 16 now.
and I think Coco, she's playing a little better, and then maybe she's at home in the US and she's motivated, but she's gonna have a challenge taking on Swiatek. I think Swiatek seems very confident right now.
Yeah, she seems very confident, and she's gonna be looking for revenge because remember Coco beat her in the last time they met.
I
So
know.
but
Like she's ready for her this time. So if Coco beats her now, then you know that Coco is getting to the point where we all think she should have gotten to in a while. That is beating the top players in the world. So
yeah,
I hope she can do that. Hope she can do
and
that.
actually she had some good from Djokovic who said that he thinks she's ready to do big things.
Yeah, that's big endorsement.
That's
Massive
a big
endorsement.
endorsement. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah. And you know what? If you watch her, it's like she's right at the cusp of getting somewhere, doing something big. But
hmm
it's just she hasn't put it all together yet, and she's still young, so give her a little time. But I think she's getting it now. She seems more consistent. So when you have consistency, that's when you get really, really good, and you get your ratings to the top. And she was inconsistent, so she'll have great games and great pieces of the games or great sets. But I think now she looks like she has the entire thing together, and now she's just getting better and better every game. So looking forward to see that matchup.
yeah, looking forward to seeing that. And any surprises to you? And maybe first on the women's side, I think I saw that Rebecca, the number four, she lost last night to
I
Christie,
know.
and that was a bit of a surprise to me. But any other thing that stands out?
Not really, to tell the truth. I think you realize with women tennis these days that the top 10,
Hmm?
anything can happen at any time with them. And they seem to have bad days more than I would like. I like when players dominate. So, but yeah, I think I think after this round, that's where we're going to see the Sabalenkas and the Svitolonas and those guys showing up with Swiatek and Goff. I think that's where we're going to see the real, in my opinion, the real tennis going.
And a good thing for, well, I guess for comebacks because Wozniacki, she's gone.
I well, that's
She
probably the
plays
surprise I
golf
should
next.
say.
She plays golf next tomorrow, and the winner of that will get the winner of Swiatek and
You can,
Ostapenko. And
and you know what? It's good to see her back.
yeah,
I'm a little surprised that how well she's doing, and you know, when you get on a roll, is you're dangerous.
yeah, I think Brady played well for
Yes.
a bit, but she seemed to have just gotten fatigued or something.
Yeah.
Good
That
first set, but then she lost the third and the second and
second
third
and
six
third.
three 6-1. So
Yeah, she tired
yeah, but
very
it will
quickly.
be a good matchup with Goff tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
that should be.
And
And
women's is always exciting, as I said, because at any time, any one of those top eight can knock each other out. So it's always an interesting matchup when they get to this stage.
yeah, the women is basically, yeah, any one of them can beat the other.
Yeah, end of the
And
day.
on the men's side, you've got Alcaraz definitely going through, no question. No,
He's rolling, and Dorko, Novak Djokovic is rolling as well. So
no.
for me, that's I know there are other players there, but for me, I just want to see the two of them back in the finals and see a repeat of what we saw in Wimbledon, where they went toe to toe for a few hours. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking way ahead. Anything can happen before, but I think that's the matchup that we're going to see.
Yeah, that's the matchup. Djokovic had a little bit of a scare yesterday because he lost the first two sets, but
Yeah,
he came back and won in the final three. So he bounced back, and yeah, that's the finals you want to see. I was watching the Tiafoe game, and he lost the first set, but came back
yeah,
and won.
came back on one as well.
Yeah, and Paul is playing good too.
He's
The
playing really good tennis as well.
Tommy Paul, yeah. So
Yeah.
some
Americans are
Americans,
bouncing back, right?
yeah, they're bouncing back. So there are
Just
a few Americans there. Shelton is still there. So
yeah,
yeah, they're still hoping to the Americans to get one of them in the
to get
finals, but it'll be
finals. I
difficult.
know. You know what? They have like three guys that are going to be very competitive, but just that I think when they meet the big two, they're going to be in trouble.
Correct. I totally agree with you. So we'll watch the matches today. Any bets? Or you don't bet on tennis?
Not so much on tennis.
If
Not
there's
so
one
much.
bet I can make, but won't make any money from it, is that Alcaraz will beat Evans. But
Yeah,
I
that
don't.
in
It's
resource terms that to be 0 to 5. It's like
exactly
you put on $2 and you get $2.05 or something, and you get nothing. So yeah,
I guess maybe the one that I can bet and make some money is on Warrenka and Sinner because Warrenka is not seeded and he's playing against number six. And a question I had, when a player gets injured, he was in the top five or top three in the world, comes back, he's unranked, and then he has to play against top ranked players. It's not really a surprise to see him winning, but I
it's
don't know how
not.
to, because you haven't played for so long, you
That's the
don't
thing
get a
is,
ranking.
it may be match rusty on top of that too. So yeah, his ranking has gone because he's been off. But I mean, to come up against Sinner here, I think it's gonna be really tough for him. But he's definitely one of the top players in the world before he went out on injuries. So
Yeah.
let's see how much he has prepared to come back. And is he back at 100%, or he's just working his way back to get into 100%? But I guess we'll find out in that game. So yeah, if you're a gambling man, that's the game to bet on. You can bet on Wawrinka, right? And if you win, you'll probably get good odds on that.
Yeah, I better go and look at one of those betting sites.
Right? There's so many of them these days. So
I know they just come and pop up and everything. Every time I open my computer, they just pop up,
I know, I
and
know.
a lot of it pops up for cricket. But unfortunately, I can't bet on cricket because
Yeah, get in trouble.
I'll, I'll get in trouble for that for
That's,
sure.
yeah, for sure, sure, sure.
Okay, so those are the sports that are happening. Other things, any other sports that you're following that we're missing out on that you
No,
can
I
help?
think for now, I think those are the ones that are, top of mind. The NFL is coming up soon, so that's
Yes.
so that warm up is happening. So keeping one eye on that, but not too deep as yet. But yeah, I think the tennis and The F1 is the big things for me right now with
Yeah,
the other
there's
big
gonna be
sports.
some. Yeah, there's some later on. We will talk a bit about the um, some cricket and some football. I will
Yeah.
talk about cricket in a minute, but we'll talk some football, soccer, if you want to call it that. And a
Yeah,
lot happened yesterday in terms of trades and transfers and whatever else.
a lot going on, I tell you. So you want to hit football or you want to go to track and field first?
We can do track and field first because I'm sure both of us were glued to the
Yes,
last couple of weeks. And up
yes.
to Thursday, I was watching track and field.
The Zurich Diamond League.
The
So yeah,
Zurich,
the World Championship ended, and it was a Zurich on Thursday. There's a China one this morning. So track and field is back with a bang, I should say. So it's been pretty interesting. But the World Championships was really something to behold. I think it was a great event. It wasn't just
hmm
just another track and field meet. It was a great event. The crowd was into it. The media was into it. The presentation was really good. You had so much happening there. You had people falling out of. I was like, how did Femke Ball
yeah,
fall in that mixed relay? I have no idea. I,
yeah,
it's like, wow, what is happening there? Also,
yeah.
they had flexibility. If it was too hot, they moved the meets, they moved the time for the events around and all of that. So it was very innovative, I think, in trying to keep the crowd involved and trying to make the athletes happy at the same time. They change up this thing where the warm up track is across the bridge and they're driving this golf cart over, and of course you had
hmm
to have a golf cart accident.
Yes,
So it was like everything that could happen
everything
happened.
could happen.
I
Yeah,
think over there, but it was a pretty exciting meet. A lot of great things came out of that meet. I think track and field has always been looking for a new star that they can put their backs into and say, "This is our man, this is our girl." And I think maybe they found both of them. I'm not sure if it's both, but for sure, Noah Lyles.
no Lyles. Yeah,
He came out and said he's going to do this and he's going to do that, and a lot of people said it was just talk. Now he backed up his talk, and he
yeah,
has won 3 gold medals, Ingle, three. So he's not a joke anymore. No talking thing. He's actually running and owning the track in the 100 and the 200.
yeah. But because he said he was going to break the world record in the 200, I
I
think
know.
Usain took a little bit of a jab at him and said, "I'm still the best, the world champ."
I know. You see,
But
the thing about it is
fantastic.
to do it after rounds, it's extremely
hmm
difficult. So what Bolt did was extremely difficult because after rounds to do that, it's extremely difficult. But yes, he's absolutely right. He had all this talk about world records. He did the next best thing. He won 3 golds.
The 100-meter goal is the one that surprised me, Roger. I didn't think he
Yeah,
would have gotten that one, but
I didn't have him either. I mean, my friend that went was laughing at me saying, see, I told you, but I didn't have him for that 100. I really didn't think he would have won, but you know what? He won and he won easily. So it was not like he had to dip and beat. He was the winner, a clear winner in both races, both the 100 and the 200. So his
yeah,
performance was really top notch, I must say. Really, really top notch.
it was top notch, and can't ask any questions about that. And it shows I had Knighton to push him a bit in the 200, maybe for him to go faster, but
Yeah.
it was just all Noah Lyles.
Yeah. You know what? I think after it was 3 years ago, I think, when Laz beat him at the US trials and talked down to him, and I think Nine went off crying. I just don't think Nine has the mental drive or right now the mental readiness to beat him.
hmm
Um, I think now Laz got into his head. So I don't. Whenever they race, I always feel that even if Nine is fairly close, he's not going to beat him. But let's see if one day he's going to do it. But for now, I personally don't see. I was more looking for Tobogo to push him. Uh,
Right,
yeah, but he didn't as much as I thought. I think he made the same mistake Gabby Thomas made in running their fastest 50 meters and the first 50 meters. Usually they finish better, their last 50s, but their strongest. They went out very hard, I think, to make an impression, and it just caught up with them. So Tobogo ended up third. But
right.
it was a good race from them. Good to see the African getting on the podium, both in the 100. He was second in the 100, And it's that 100 meters though. You had four people fighting for second. It was out. It was done by thousands of seconds. They
It
all ran
was.
the same time,
Yeah.
9:88. So second, third, and fourth. So it's like, wow, this race is really, really, really close. So it's good to see, as I said, the African getting out there and making his name. He's a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
He believes he's going to be the next Bolt, and Noah Lyles believes he's the next. Well, he said he's not the next Bolt. He's Noah Lyles, but
Didn't know Lyles. Yeah.
we will see which one of them in the long run. I actually think Tobago may have some real upside if he stays with the sport the right way, and he could challenge Noah Lyles in both events, from what I could see. So I'm looking forward to that. But I think coming into the meet, the big talk was about Shakari Richardson. So
Mhm.
a lot of conversations. She has not won anything. She's not this. She's not that. She can't do this, and she's not strong enough mentally, and she's screwed up in the head, and anything you can think of negative to say about her was said. I know she's a little fire kitty, as they would call them, so she just goes off sometimes, like what we saw on the airplane. But
Right.
the expectation was, in my opinion, I told whoever would listen to me earlier on that I think she can win, and I
Mm-hmm.
think she's in a great position to win. And when she beat Sherika Jackson in the Diamond League races, and everyone is saying this and that, I watched the races closely, and she was definitely better than Sherika in those races, and I knew she had more in store. So I was like, you know what? She is going to do something special here. Can't write off Shelly and Fraser Price. You can't write off Sherika Jackson. But I knew those would have been the top three. And
Yeah.
Shakari played her cards right. She ended up with lane nine. Is it
You
luck?
know, yeah. Nobody looked at it. Even the announcers, they didn't talk about her until close to the end of the race.
Yes, yeah, because they did. You see, I think it allowed her to focus more, and it also affected Sharika because Sharika didn't see her.
Right, because she was just on the side. It kind of reminds me of when I think I don't remember, maybe about 20, 25 years ago, 20 years ago when Kim Collins won from the outside lane as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kim Collins.
Nobody paid attention to him.
Nobody saw him out there. He's
Yeah,
just doing his thing. So sometimes it's a blessing to get that outside lane. So yeah, she did extremely well. She kept her focus. She relaxed. She did everything right, and not only did she ran a fast time.
she
So
did. She ran the fastest time at the Worlds ever, right?
yeah, it's a meet record. So you know what? She's no joke, and she's going to be a big force. But I think from a stars perspective, those two showed up to say we are now ready to take on the mantle as the stars of this sport for the sprint sport. So it's going to be interesting to see how they hold on for Paris. But for now, kudos to both of them. Noah Shakari Richardson.
And Nola has actually started a debate too because he said basketball NBA world champions of what?
I know. So that
You
was
know?
the big thing. That was
Yeah,
the massive thing after because he went to the Zurich Diamond League and in the press conference and he just went off.
yeah,
He says, he goes up against people from 180 different or 200 different countries and beats them. So he's the world champion. But these guys in the NBA, I don't know why he went to the NBA. It's the same in Major League Baseball as well.
the same as baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, but he just went after them, and he's like, "World champion of what?
Hmm.
You win a domestic league. It's a national basketball association. It's national. It's not the world. So of course, oh my God, the players went off on him. Drake went off on him. Stephen
Yeah.
A. Smith went off on him. But then you know what? The important thing for me was that Stephen A. Smith came back and apologized and
Hmm.
said Noah Lyles is more right than he is wrong.
That's so true.
And he said, he called him ignorant and all of that, and he took it back. He says, the guy's right. If he can admit it, he's a loudmouth for everything. So if he can admit that, yes, having players from all over the world in your league does not make you a world champion because they're still playing a domestic league, right? So
Yes.
the English Premier League has all these different players. The English Premier League winner is just English Premier League winner. It's
English.
soccer.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you talking about here? But yeah, Kevin Durant and everybody went after him. And Shakari backed him, and he's saying that a lot of different internationals, which is the worldview, agreed with him because a lot of people have been saying it for years. Why are they calling
Yeah.
themselves the world champions?
I've said it before too, in discussion with friends, and I think one of the basketball coaches, was it had mentioned said it before. Also, we're not world champion.
Popovich.
Popovich, yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
Popovich said it.
yeah, yeah,
And I mean, the baseball, as you said, basketball. I think the football says the same thing, right? World
yeah,
champions.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I guess America is the world to them.
America's no, it is right, and New York is the
Yeah,
center of it all. So,
yeah. So
but no, you're absolutely right, and a lot of people find it annoying. I mean, I just ignore it, but
yeah, I
at the
ignore
end,
it too, but
at the end of the day, I mean, it sells the sport, it sells their marketing and all of that stuff. So they need it, and it
yeah,
has worked for them. So what works keep going. But no, they're not world champions. They're
and
the
then
domestic league champion. So,
for sure,
oh boy. But also we saw some other races of interest. The 400 hurdles for men. We expected to see Warholm taking on Benjamin. Warholm came out on top again. It's just like, oh, here he goes again. He's on
but
top.
Benjamin was third, right? In the race.
Yes, believe it
Yeah,
or
it was
not.
surprising.
So I don't know if he's injured or not again, but I haven't seen him since. So I'm wondering what's going on. Interesting, interesting. He's tried to beat Warholm and he has really never done it. So,
Yeah,
all the talk and talk, he has not done it. So we gotta look to see if Benjamin is a real deal or is just a talker.
yeah, and
Um,
then he has never beaten him, and I was looking for a closer race between both of them.
exactly. I thought it
Just
would have been two of them dipping over the line.
yeah, I
But
thought
not,
so. No,
not even close. Not even
I
close.
think when it comes to that 400, just Wahom is just out there by himself. Although he was beaten in Zurich.
Yeah, he was beaten by McMaster from the British
Yeah.
Virgin Islands. So, and I mean the key, and I mean Benjamin said it. It's strange how he said to have a chance against him, you have to run a specific way, and then he
Hmm.
never really did it. He said
Oh,
if you pressure him the first 200 meters, just run. Warholm always go there really fast and comes around leading. Let him
yes.
come around in second and have to run by you, which is what McMaster did. He ran that first 200 with him and just kept going. And Warholm came at him, came at him, came at him, and just couldn't go around him.
Mm,
So the key is to be leading him coming into the straight and see what he can do when he's behind. He's always in front. So I think they
yeah,
figured out how to beat him now. So let's see if they can replicate that as time goes along. We also saw Faith Kipyegon, the middle
oh,
distance superstar now. So she took the 1500 meters and the 5000. You
yeah.
know, there's a lot of people saying Sifan Hassan would give her trouble, but no trouble for Faith Kipyegon.
None.
She's looking unbeatable now, Ingle.
Yeah,
Unbeatable.
she ran such a good race. Everyone thought that she would fade, that she's never been in this kind of tactical races, but
I know,
she
I
was,
know.
she was really fantastic. It was
Yeah, I think
no
she has a good.
catch.
She has a timer in her head. She
Yeah.
knows. I don't know. She hasn't run a lot of these type of races, as they said, but I just think she just has the mental drive and capacity to just go for it and understand what you need to do at the moment. And for
Hmm.
me, she's always doing the right things. I don't know how she figures out how to do the right things, but she always does it, no
Yeah.
matter what the situation. So kudos to her. And not surprisingly enough, she has come out and said that for Paris, she has 3 world records this year and she's planning to break all 3 next year. So let's see if she can actually do that. Sometimes you have a wonderful year and the next year is not so wonderful, but it could also be fantastic as well. So I'm backing her to go on and break her world records, and that would be really, really, really good to see. In a surprise, and for some people it's a shock, when you looked at the medal table, number one, USA, number two, Ingle was
Also,
Canada.
Canada, yeah, that was a bit of a
This
surprise.
is a shocker. So it's like, Canada? How did they get there? So Canada went off in these championships, man. They had one day when I think they won 3 gold medals on the same day. So they
Yeah,
they showed up. It's a lot of field, don't get me wrong. They won both hammer events. So a lot of firsts, a lot of firsts. This little kid that won
and
the hammer. He
yeah,
came out of nowhere. Nobody knew him. I thought he was a joke going up, but then he became the winner. Cameron Rogers, I expected to do well, and I knew she was going to be top two, and she won, so great for her. Pierce Lepage came and he took that
yeah, he took
decathlon
the
over Damon
Catalan.
Warner. And
Yeah,
I thought Warner was going to get back to him, but then as it went on, I say, you know what? Lepage is looking like the man here. He is looking so much like the man, and he never gave up, and he took the victory. And interesting enough, Canada won too. You know, but my air up was a surprise for me because normally he runs and runs too fast and they catch him down the straight. But this
Hmm.
time he decided to come from off the pace. And air up, I told you, finish that last 300 meters in style. He just went for it on the backstretch and no one could peg him back. So an amazing record for Canada to see four gold medals, 800 meters men, hammer men and women, the decathlon, and they came second in the decathlon. Sarah Mitton came second in the shot put. So a good meet for Canada. Six medals, but I mean quality medals, quality medals. So kudos to them. Jamaica was fourth. Jamaica had 12 medals, but only
Jamaica,
three
yeah.
golds. So in terms of points and medal count, we had more medals than them, but we
What?
didn't have four golds. We only had three.
Why does track and field just go by the number of goals you win? Do-
It's the quality, right? So
Quality, okay.
yeah. And like you win, you get more points and all of that stuff. But from
Hmm.
a points perspective, Canada didn't have that much. Jamaica
Right.
was second on the points table if you look at it from a points perspective. If you
Yeah,
give
because
points the first,
Jamaica had
second, and
12
third.
points. Canada only had 6 points, right?
Yeah. So
Even
it's
Spain. Spain had 5 points.
yes. So it's interesting to see, and you know what? They won the four race walks,
Hmm.
right? So they had 5 minutes, and I think four came under the race walking. So they just dominated that, and they were ahead of Jamaica too, right? So it is what it is. They always go by the quality of the medal to say that's how you're ranked, and Canada, kudos to them. Real
Yeah,
kudos to them.
kudos to Canada, yeah. But I still think I'd like to see a different way because
Yeah,
Jamaica should be ahead of that.
yeah. I think eventually, they're trying to do both now, where they have the quality and then they have the points. So let's see if eventually they settle on doing both. But for now, it's the
Hmm.
quality that they rely
Quality.
on.
Okay.
We also saw two Jamaican medals on one evening, and I tell you, both of them were shockers. So Danielle Williams, a close friend of mine, she showed up and she was world champion in 2015. No one gave her a chance. She was running out the lane too, and she won 100-meter hurdles, defeating everybody.
Yeah, that was
Camacho
surprising.
Quinn, yeah, it's like Camacho Quinn, Harrison, Nia Ali, all behind her. It's like, what happened here? It was a shocker to many. I knew she had a chance to medal. I didn't wasn't so sure about the gold. Fascinating to see her do that. It was like, whoa, talk about a shocker. Then Antonio Watson, the young kid from Jamaica, won the 400 meters. It wasn't so much a surprise after we saw him winning the semifinals. But this little kid, I've always known as a lot of talent. He was just all over the place and a joker.
Hmm.
Loved to play around when he's running. I saw when he was running at boys championships. He's only 21, so he's still a kid. At the boys championships, he would be running and he'd be changing gears like he's driving a truck when he's passing you. So he's always enjoying himself. But he's most known for when, he was being challenged in the 200 meters, and as he got to the guy 5 meters out, he turned across, looked at him, and fired two shots at him like that with his fingers. And they almost killed him in Jamaica there, saying, this and that about him. But look at him now. He is the world champion. So
He's right, yeah.
kudos to him. He's very talented. There've been a lot of talk about Glenn Mills not being able to coach a 400-meter runner to championships victory. He has now done it. He has tons of sprinters. He has Zarnell Hughes third in the 100, Oblique
Hmm.
Seville fourth in the 100. So he has all these sprinters all the time. But now he has a 400-meter champion, not just a medal, a champion, and he's only 21. So let's see how far he goes. But Antonio Watson says he loves the 200. I hope he takes his mind off it for a bit. So he sounds like he wants to go back there, and he had to be convinced actually to stick to the 400 this year, and now he's the world champion. So let's see, let's see how it goes. Another surprise for me was Inge Brixton losing that 1500 meters. I don't know, it's the second time that I've seen him lose in a championship. I was there in Oregon when he lost to Whiteman, and now this time he lost to another Englishman, Kerr.
Correct,
And
yeah.
it was shocking. His comments afterward, though, was he wasn't 100%, and if he wasn't in the race, Carr would have won. So he's just the next guy. And of course, it was disrespectful to Carr. So of course, Carr fired back and said, "Well, no matter what you say, I'm still the world champion." So we will see how that rivalry goes. But Ingebrigtsen doesn't like to lose. Very
No, he,
confident. Very confident. He came back and he won the 5,000 meters, and I think that's how they gave him the race. They gave him a chance to do what he wanted, maybe because of respect. But the 1,500 meters is his race. He wants to break that world record. He ran 3:27 flat, and he's going closer to that 3:26. So it was unbelievable that he actually lost in the finals. I'm not sure if you watched that race, but the English were going nuts in that race.
yes, I did. Yeah, for sure they were, and there were a few surprises in that World Championships, but
Yeah.
yeah. So, but the
Well,
long distance, I started paying more attention. I didn't pay a lot of attention to them in the past,
yeah,
but in this World Championships, I watched
it's
even
becoming more
even
the ten
the
thousand.
the steeplechase I watched.
Ah,
It
I
was
see.
ten
Oh,
thousand.
yeah,
Ten
yeah, yeah.
thousands I watched on and off because I
I don't
couldn't
know.
watch for straight 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's a bit, but trust me, all the races are getting competitive now. Competitive now. Another disappointment for me, and I know they've made a big deal out of it, and I'm not sure what your thoughts are on it, but Canada not making it to the 4x1 finals in the men
in the
sprint
men,
relay.
right?
So I don't know. They use Baladi Ajamali for anchor leg. I'm not sure the decision making behind that. But I know Andre DeGrasse chose not to run in the heats because he had the 200-meter final a couple
Right.
hours later. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think? I mean, a lot of people are trying to blame him in a backhand way. I'm not sure if
But
that's fair.
I think that he did the right thing because he had in finals. That most of the finalists didn't run. I think only the Kenyan finalists I saw running, or the
Yeah,
not Kenyan, Cote d'Ivoire, I think.
yeah. So Marie Jose
Yeah,
Telu, she
Talu and a
wanted
couple.
her team to meet. And you know what? I think if she was a gold medal threat, it would have probably been different. But I think
Yeah,
she was starting in the same position as Andre because coming
Andrew.
into the race, maybe Andre had something up his sleeve, but he didn't look like a gold medal threat coming into the
Right.
race. So a
So,
lot of people felt Donovan Bailey said, that's how your training goes. You take that 4x1 as a warm up, and then you run your race later. So
oh, okay.
I, you know, I think the grass did the right thing. I'm not sure if Canada made the right decision with Baladi
Yeah,
anchoring.
no, I don't think so. He didn't have the pace to anchor for
I
Canada.
don't, he has been running a lot of 10 threes. I know he dropped
Mm,
a 10-1, I think, later on in the season, but they are doing Asimoto, who has been consistent running 10-1. They had, what's his name again? What's his name? African guy, Ghana. But anyway, yeah, he's run for them before as well on the relay. Yeah, Malachi Morris. So these guys, I think, were beating Baladi all year. So, but I know Baladi has experience of working with them.
yeah.
Right. So because of that, I think they put him in. But I mean, at the end of the day, so they had good pattern changes, but then they were short on speed. I would
They
have
were
probably
short
given up a little of the baton change and gone with the speed and
on
probably gone with
speed.
doing Asimoto because he has been having a good year and consistent under 10.15. So I would have probably gone with him because the speed is there, but I don't know how he takes the baton. So I'm not in the camp, so I can't say.
Hmm.
But they did what they thought was best. The other three got him to the point where he had a chance. He was second right there
Oh yeah, they had a chance until then. Yeah.
until then. So I know Brendan Rodney was extremely upset.
Hmm.
He didn't do as well in the 200, and I think he was well prepared for his 200 meters. And then the golf cart accident happened, and the glass got into the eyes of the Jamaican Andrew Hudson, and they
Right.
had to delay his race. So, with track and field, your prime is like a coiled spring. When it's time to go, you have to go. So that those delays and all of that sort of screws you up from time to time, and it was just tough to see how things unfurled for Brendan. But stick with it, Brendan. I'm sure you're gonna come back and you're gonna be where you need to be on the podium. So it was an interesting decision and an interesting race. And I know a lot of people, the defending champions, didn't even make it to the finals. And a lot of people were not happy about that. Another one
What
was
on
go
the
ahead.
other hand, what did you think about the Jamaican selection for the women? So should Elaine have run in that final?
Oh, that's the most political question everyone is asking. So it's tough. There's a lot of politics behind it as well. Um, there's rumors that she wasn't even asked because Shelley said she's injured, she can't
Hmm.
return. Sharika Jackson has problems taking and passing baton, so they want to make her have one change. So she had to anchor, and she's not so good on the curve as well. It's not her favorite
Mm.
position. So I think in the past Elaine had said no curve running for her either.
Oh, okay.
So I think that was part of it. The way she ran the heats, I would have felt that maybe they would have found a way to put her in, but it's difficult because if you hadn't practiced certain changes, then it's hard to just throw her in the finals without any practice with the changes. So they had to go with where they had practicing. Shashali Forbes on the third seems to have been the one that they've worked with on the third leg. The start, some people were saying maybe they should have not used Natasha Morrison, but she did well.
She did do it.
Yeah, so you can't say anything about that. A lot of people felt Brianna Williams should have been there, but Natasha Morrison did well. The problem was Shelley got injured in the last 20 meters
The
of that
last,
4x1, so
yeah,
Jamaica lost a lot of ground there, and I think that's where it happened. So, but even then, it would have been a battle. I wanted to see that battle royal. I wanted Sharika to get the battle at the same time as Shakari and see what would have happened. But with Shakari 2 meters in front, forget it. Gabby Thomas got the third leg and she wiped Shashali Forbes off the map, and that was it. There's no way I think Sharika could run past Shakari, and it just did not happen. So I was okay with the selections. I just because of Shelley getting injured, I think made a difference. Although
hmm,
looking at the time, it would have been difficult for them to win anyway.
okay.
Difficult. But we also saw Fred Curley, defending champion, and a lot of chat coming into the season. He never made the 100-meter finals
And
either.
fine. Yeah, he never did.
So it
and
was like, look at you, all this big chat on Twitter and social media.
he did mixed finals.
Didn't make the finals.
Sometimes just best to shut up and run.
Just shut up and run. Shut up and run.
Yeah.
That was the World Championships. A pretty exciting meet, and the race for me was probably the women's 100 meters. I'm not sure if you had a special race that you felt was just top of the line.
Yeah, the both sprints, the hundreds, and I was also the 200 because I just wanted to see what Sharika was going to do. I didn't
Close.
have any doubt that she was going to win.
Yeah, well,
I just
she went
wanted to
closer
see
to
how
the record.
close
She
she
went
can get. Yeah,
closer. I thought she would have had it, and I think she thought she would have had it too, but
and
it just
she
wasn't
could.
on the
She was
cards.
disappointed, and could
Very.
see the disappointment on her face. And she said, "Well, she's going to make an attempt sometime this year again."
Yeah, maybe in a one-off race she can get it on a fast track. So let's see if she does that. It's not going to be easy though. I can tell you that.
No, it's
Maybe
not.
maybe when she gets to Oregon. Oregon is a fast track, and it usually have good winds. So let's see what happens there. Hopefully she gets it though, because in my opinion, she deserves to have that world record. Let's see if she can do that. But as mentioned, Thursday gone was the Zurich Diamond League, and of course Elaine, now getting confident again, came out and said she's going to take on Shakari in the 100 meters, and she did. But
Hmm.
Shakari was an easy winner, running 10.88. Elaine was there battling for second with the same Natasha Morrison. They
Hmm.
both did the same time of 11.00, with Natasha getting the second place. So, it was good to see that Elaine seems to be coming back to some form. So that was really, really exciting to see. Sharika Jackson, she took the 200-meter very easily. Again, no real strong competition.
No competition.
Yeah, 21.8, so she was way off the 21.4, but I mean, she was a comfortable winner. Danielle Williams, though, she came back, and you know what? She showed that what happened in Budapest was no fluke, because she won the hurdles race there in Zurich as well. So it was good to see some of those champions coming back and winning. Lyles coming back and winning as well. So yes, it was good to see the champions coming back and winning there, as well as Tontoglu, the long jumper from Greece. I'm not sure if you watched the long jump, but
Yes, I did.
Ingle, what, this young kid from Jamaica, Wayne Pinnock,
Hmm.
he jumped 8:15 his first jump, and Tontoglu could not pass him until the last jump of the meet. He went and jumped 8:52. And in Zurich, he did the same thing again. He was behind the Jamaican Tracj Gale until the last jump. He went 8:20.
Yeah.
So he knows he's locked in. He knows how to win, put it that way, in the jumps. His last jump is always off the charts. So let's see how if he can continue to do that. He's the Olympic champion as well, so he's very solid, extremely solid. But a little disappointing for me, Ingle, and I just watching them. I mean, Andre and Aaron Brown were both in the 200 meters race, and you know what? I think they were like fifth and sixth. So not sure what's going on. It's tough for me to watch because I really had very high expectations for both of them, and they seem to be struggling.
Yeah, they're struggling. And I was actually thinking about you when I saw them running, and I thought, yeah, they're struggling a lot, and I expected Andre maybe get through the rounds as he normally do, and then something special, but didn't
Nothing.
happen.
It's just he's not firing. I don't know.
No.
He changed coaches. I'm not sure that's a part of it, but yeah, it's disappointing that they're struggling this year. But you know what? Next year is another year. The problem for me is that they're in their 30s now. So
Hmm.
next year a lot of people say next year, next year, next year, but they're in their 30s, so you just never know.
I don't know if it's coincidence, but I was watching tennis, and I saw Monfils was struggling, and I commented to someone that, look, Andre had kids, he's struggling, his wife is doing better. Monfils had kids. His wife is playing better, and he's struggling. So
Yeah.
are they the ones staying up with the babies at
Maybe
night?
they're the ones with the kids at night. Who knows?
You know,
Maybe
so
that's the formula. You know what? Maybe you're
yeah,
onto something there. That's an interesting point. Interesting
yeah.
point.
So I said, wow. But yeah, it's kind of it's disappointing not to see him doing a medal in them. But I think the biggest disappointment for me, only three people can medal, but Talu not getting a medal in the World Champions.
You know what? Not being harsh, but I think the three that beat her, in my opinion, were supposed to beat her. I think they're just
Correct.
better than her, in my opinion.
No,
It's
they're
just
better than her. Yeah,
yeah.
for
So
sure.
she'll always be the fourth person.
Yeah,
Um, she needs to find a way to get to that at least that third. She needs to
yeah.
figure that out. So she came close, but she's just not getting there. So it's too bad, I must say. But it's a tough world.
It
So
is
let's see if she can figure it out. And she's not young; she's 34. So let's see if she can come
exactly
back next year and try it again. As mentioned, he had a meet this morning. Christian Coleman, he won the 100 meters by a very, very small margin. He won 983 over the Jamaican. Kishane Thompson, who a lot is expected of. He can't run more than one race according to his coach, but he did 9.85 today. So he's the fastest Jamaican. And in that one race, he's looking really, really good. Almost beat Christian Coleman. It's really good to see him showing up there. So interesting to see what he's going to do for next year. We also saw Kirana James. He ran 44.36 to win the 400 meters, and he battled to the line for the last 50
mm,
meters with Quincy Hall, who came third at the World Championships from the US. And they went across the line together. I actually thought Quincy Hall won, but they gave it to Kirana James. Both of them at the same time.
okay.
But the last race of the meet was Hansa Parchment, and he took on Grant Holloway. Grant Holloway, the three-time world champion, and
Right.
Parchment, the Olympic champion, and Parchment won again. This time he did 12.96 to win his fastest time in a few years. So good to see him back winning again.
Oh, okay.
Holloway hit the last hurdle though, so he
Oh,
struggled to
okay.
third. He was in third. Yeah, so that was it for track and field, Ingle. Lots of time, lots of stuff to talk about, but I think we
No,
covered
there's
it
a lot
all.
that's well worth it because we had to discuss the track. We didn't talk about it last week. We
Yep.
were off, so World
Yeah,
Championships we had to give that time to it for sure, and it was fantastic. Couple of weeks
absolutely,
of track and field. So
absolutely.
was it? Yeah.
Can I go some cricket?
We'll just quickly get into some cricket and the Asia Cup is on. I'll start there with the Asia Cup.
Yes,
And the big match is on today, Roger. It's India and Pakistan.
I know.
And India were 266 all out in 48.5 overs, but a bit of a recover for them because at one point they were 66 for four. And looking at the Facebook comments, some Indian supporters were not happy. They're saying they sold out the game. They're giving it to Pakistan. How do you win a toss in overcast conditions and bowl
And go
and bat first?
bat first, which is sort
Yeah,
of true.
yeah. But then Ishan Kishan 82 and Hardik Pandya 87 saved them. So
Yeah,
they got to
yeah.
266, but nobody else really did anything much. The next highest from that was 16 by Bumrah, of all people. Just with
Wow.
Bumrah down at the end.
And
So Pakistan hasn't started batting yet, and we'll keep an eye on that.
it's going to
And
be an
next,
interesting finish. I think,
it's going to be interesting.
yeah, Pakistan has a good shot. I mean, it's not a high score,
It's not
so
a
they
high
have a good
school.
shot. But I mean, let's see if the Indian bowlers can take it home for them.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go watch the end of that game for sure and see
Yeah,
how it goes. And Asia Cup, some good matches there, but easy wins for Sri Lanka over Bangladesh earlier. And Nepal, Pakistan had a Pakistan given a slight scare for the
yeah.
batsmen. They were 25 for two, and then they were struggling a bit for last four quick wickets after that. And then, but Babar Azam, we know what he can out. He do.
He
He
is the
made
man.
another century. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He knows how to take his team on his back and take them home.
yeah. So he just scores centuries after centuries. Like
Yes.
he just he just wakes up and scores runs whenever he feels like.
That's the truth. That is the truth.
Yeah. And not so much for what's his name? Kohli today. Kohli was bowled for 14.
Yeah, he's my guy. Let's see if he can bounce back. But yeah,
He
he's.
will bounce back. There's always so much pressure on his Pakistan and India
I
and these
know.
players to
I know.
perform.
Because the countries don't like each other, so whenever they're playing, it makes it even tougher.
for sure. Besides Asia Cup, what's happening? New Zealand and England in a series, a T20I series. Roger, don't like these series when it's four matches. I like five,
Yeah,
so you can have
five.
it.
It's got to be an
But
odd number.
it
You
should
got to
be
have
an
a winner.
yeah. But England up at the moment look unbeatable. I mean, they're just playing a different level of cricket, a different
They
brand
are.
of cricket.
They are. They are.
Very aggressive at all formats, and they're just running through them.
They're doing it well, though. They're doing it well. And it's good for the game.
They are doing it well. The other series, South Africa and Australia. Australia's won that T20 with one to play, so no big surprises there. South Africa look like they're trying to rebuild their team and
Yeah,
looking towards the World Cup next year in the Caribbean.
true. True.
Yeah, not a lot of surprises in that. And I don't know if you followed any of youth, the youth West Indies youth team. They
Oh,
under
the under
19.
19. Yeah,
Yeah,
little. I mean, there's this Jamaican guy, that Javier Johnson, I think his name is. He made a
yeah.
century in the second game, and a
He
lot of
helped.
potential there.
Yeah, he helped them to win that game.
Yep, he did.
Yeah, they won that game pretty big, but they lost the other two matches.
I
Although
know
they showed some fight in the final match, they
they did.
ended up
They did.
losing it. But
They
West
did.
Indies showed some fight. Uh, other cricket, CPL. Have you been watching the CPL? Because that's
Yeah,
been
little. It's been up and down. I think
up and down. Yeah, you
you
could say
know
that again. It's
you don't know who's going to dominate, but Jamaica started off with two wins and followed up with two losses, and like okay, Amazon Warriors, always dangerous. Barbados, though, not so sure what's going on with them.
yeah, they lose badly one day, and then the next day they come back and beat
Yeah,
Jamaica. I'm like,
I know. I was shocked at that. Or
yeah,
maybe it's a Roughman Powell thing.
maybe. But I believe Trinidad, once they get it together, they're going to be a tough team to beat because they've got some serious firepower.
They do. They're stacked.
Yeah, the Puran, Pollard, and Russell, they've got a strong team and they've
They
shown
do.
it in couple of occasions. I think they were very upset when they played against the St. Kitts Patriots the other night in St. Kitts when the first red card given in cricket.
What are your
and
thoughts on this red card thing? Because I think Pollard went off on it. I think Jason
uh,
Bowler went off on
yeah,
it.
yeah, they don't agree with it, but it I think it's put in place because they want to make sure that games are stick to the time. I mean, it's like TV time. You have
I know.
three
I
and a half
know.
hours to play, but some of these captains take forever to set the field. Pollard
True.
is known for that. It takes a long time. So
Yeah.
Narayan was about to bowl it over, and he was the one who was penalized and had to go up. So
I know. I know.
maybe he should have been smart enough to give somebody else the ball.
I know. I know. I think that's
And
what
so
bothered him too. But
yeah, he wasn't thinking about that. There's a
no.
person who's gonna bowl the over will be penalized. So I didn't know that was. I thought they just choose a fielder to
I,
go out.
that's what I thought too. That they chose somebody.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
gonna
know.
take a while to get. I can believe in the fine system or the two fielders in the circle, but to
Yeah,
send,
that. Yeah, that
yeah,
I
red
agree with. I
card.
don't know about this whole sending
I
the
don't know
player
about
off.
the red card, but
I don't.
I
I
guess
don't.
CPL is just trying to make it serious because they want them to be most take it.
Yeah,
Don't take it for granted that they can do as they like.
understood. Yeah, let's see how it works. It may mean that they're more careful and it doesn't happen that they need to get a red card. But just off the top of my head, it doesn't look like it's the right move. But I mean, you never know. It may
No,
play out well for some
it
teams.
might. It might make them the ball faster, and who knows? We'll
Who
see.
knows?
But yeah,
Who knows?
in the match that's going on now, it's St. Nevis Patriots against Guyana Amazon Warriors. Guyana struggling at 79 for 4.
Oh,
Um, and
a good
O'Shane
team though.
Thomas is running through them,
Oh,
actually.
really? Interesting.
Yeah, O'Shane is bowling. He's got 3 for 14.
Wow, he has a lot of pace. So if you
He's
can't bat the
bowled.
pace,
Yeah,
then you're going to be in trouble.
and he's gotten the top 3 batters. So
Okay,
it's,
nice.
the Hetmeyer is still there with Chemo Paul. And I don't know if you saw Chemo Paul's latest hairstyle.
I know I was. What did he do? Mohawk?
uh, no, it's actually well, it's not a mohawk look, but it's a braided mohawk.
Oh my word!
So I didn't recognize him at first.
If you see something like that, you won't recognize the person. You got,
Nah,
huh? Who's
didn't.
that? Who
Yeah,
would
but
do that to themselves?
totally different chemo, Paul. But
Mhm.
yeah, so CPL is gone going, and it's got a few weeks to go, and we will talk about the championships more next week as we're running out
Sure,
of time. We just got 4 minutes,
sure.
and I just quickly wanted to end the cricket section. Roger, history has been made, and it's not all good publicity. The publicity has been a lot, but it's not all good feedback because Canada is playing in the ICC Women's T20 World Cup qualifiers starting on Monday, and Canada, the Canadian team, um, has included this first transgender player to
Oh, they
play.
did.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that is having a lot of press. I've been getting a lot of calls on it.
can imagine. I can imagine.
Um,
That must have been a tough decision, but I know you guys probably went the legal route to make sure the
that
decision
is
was.
exactly what we did. We followed the ICC guidelines. The player applied for to ICC, and we just followed the process, and she was approved. And but now there are people talking about boycotting the games against her, and
Ah, no,
it,
that is not good. 'Cause that's
that's
a
no.
very disruptive force that you don't want to be part of.
Yes, so it's gonna be interesting how it plays out. I can't say too much, but
Yeah, no, because yeah, you probably would have to be answering calls and calls if you said anything you should not
oh,
say. So
yes, it was actually started. BBC did an article. So once BBC did an article on that, then
it's
it was
worldwide.
picked up
It's
worldwide.
worldwide.
The Toronto
Yeah,
Sun carried it, or everyone
yeah.
carried it. I've been getting. I got um, Associated Press called me as well. So yeah,
Have you put your phone out? Turn your phone off?
well, I stopped answering numbers I didn't recognize.
Who it
if
was?
you're not
Yeah.
if you're not in my contact list, I'm not answering.
There you go. There you go.
Yes. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting how it plays out over the next week because from what I understand, there's quite a number of press people have gathered in LA to cover that story.
Wow. You don't
Yeah.
want that amount of excitement around you.
No,
So
you don't. You just want to have the cricket and
cricket. It should be about the
but
cricket. So it's an interesting move. Let's see how. Yeah, it's gonna be a good topic to talk about next week to see how it plays out.
yeah. And BBC mentioned in the article how Canada has supported it because Canada had a soccer player who played transgender player who played for
Yeah,
Canada.
yeah.
So
She plays in the midfield. Yes.
yeah, so they talked about how Canada is supportive of that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So
they are. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure they are. Interesting.
Uh, maybe we need to end on something else, Roger. So if you want to quickly just
Yeah,
say
cricket.
something about
Yeah,
soccer.
but the TFC, they made a big move. They got Herdman, the
Yeah,
national coach for
correct.
Canada Soccer. He left the national team after so much turmoil, and everybody. He said he was going to stick it out with them, but he's gone. Moved to TFC. I'm a little surprised at that move. I'm not sure if you are.
I am surprised, yeah, but he said they're saying that maybe because he can't get the games. Everybody's playing four friendlies, and he's only getting one friendly and not getting
Uh,
to prepare the team properly. So
so he walked away.
he
Smart
walked
move.
away. Yeah,
Because when you fail, he's going to get blamed.
exactly.
So, yeah, it's
Yes,
tough when you don't have the practice games because you don't know who you have and what they're doing, and it's very tough. So, probably a right decision for him, but it's a tough one for the country because I think he's a great coach.
he is definitely. So we'll end on that note as we got a minute to go. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Have a fabulous weekend, guys. Take care.